To make puff puff, we'll be needing a measuring cup, a measuring spoon, very important. We'll be needing flour, sugar, we'll be needing yeast. You can use STK yeast or angel yeast. I'm using Surf yeast. We'll be needing vanilla essence. We're needing milk powder flavor. You can also use milk for this recipe. And we'll be needing warm water. So to start making our puff, we need to measure our ingredients. And the first thing we're going to measure is our flour using our measuring cup. We're needing 2 cups of flour for this recipe. Watch how I'm going to measure the flour. I'll fill up my cup with flour, making sure there is no air space in anywhere around the cup. I'm going to use my leveler to level the cup of flour. You can use the back of your knife as a leveler. That is 1 cup measured. I'll pour that into our mixing bowl. Now I'm measuring the second cup. Watch again how I'm going to fill the cup with flour, making sure there is no space in the cup. I'll pick up my leveler and I'll level again. This is how you measure a cup of flour. So that's 2 cups measured. Next, we are going to measure our sugar. And for this recipe, we'll be needing 6 tablespoons of sugar. That's my tablespoon. Watch how I'm going to measure this as well. I'll pick up my sugar, fill in my tablespoon, and I'll shake it until it is leveled. You can use a leveler so that you'll be accurate in your measurements, but this is okay. I just shake the spoon to level it. That's 3. That's the 4th tablespoon, the 5th tablespoon, and the 6th. Our sugar is measured. The next thing we are going to measure is our milk powder flavor. Sorry, our yeast. We'll be measuring our yeast. I'm going to cut the sachet open to measure the yeast. I'll be needing 1 teaspoon of yeast for this recipe. That is my teaspoon, 1 teaspoon. Watch how I'm going to measure the yeast. After adding the yeast, please don't add this inside your bowl. Do this in a separate plate or cup so that you don't add excess yeast to your puff measurements. And I'm going to level my teaspoon of yeast. That is how you measure your yeast. That is 1 teaspoon of yeast measured. I'll add that into our mixing bowl. The next thing I'm going to measure is our milk powder flavor. I'll be needing 1/4 teaspoon. I have leveled that as well. That is 1/4 teaspoon of milk powder flavor measured. I've added that to our mixing bowl. So I have measured all the dry ingredients. The next thing I'll be doing now is to mix the bowl thoroughly with my hand, mixing all the dry ingredients properly together. That is it. The next thing I'm going to add now is the water. For this recipe, we need a cup of water plus 1 tablespoon water. A cup of water plus 1 tablespoon water. So I'm going to add the water gradually so that I don't mix or over add water to my bowl, because you have different kinds of flour, so you want to make sure you add the water gradually. You can see my flour is still dry. I've not gotten to the right measurement, or sorry, texture. I added the remaining cup of water, after which I added 1 tablespoon of water. I didn't get that. The next thing I'm going to add now is my vanilla essence, and we're using half cup of vanilla essence. Notice that I mixed halfway and stopped to add my vanilla essence. Now I'm going to mix thoroughly to get a smooth puff puff batter. You can mix with a spatula or you can mix with your hand. Watch how I mix with my hand, beating the batter on the body of the bowl. Can you see how smooth my batter is? Yes, this is what you want to get. I have finished mixing the puff puff batter at this point. The next thing is to leave the batter to rise. and we are going to leave this batter to rise for 1 hour covered. You can use waterproof to cover your bowl or a larger tray, but make sure that it is well covered. We are going to allow this rest for 1 hour. After 1 hour, we'll be returning to fry our puff.